Alright, y'all, welcome back. We are still going with ISS Vanguard, but we've been enjoying it, and today we are going into ship management. That's right, we completed our mission. We got off of Brimstone just barely, and we are going to be docking, unloading, and managing our ship aboard the ISS Vanguard. Howdy and welcome back. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude, and this is Board Games for One. This is part of the Road to Retaliation series, so I'm going to be making a video on, or more than one video, as in the case with ISS Vanguard here, on every Awakened Realms game leading up to the release, or I guess the crowdfunding start of Nemesis Retaliation. A culminating video is actually going to be a ranking of all the Awakened Realms games. I have never done a ranking before, so let's see how we do. Alright, so Natalia Torres, our recon officer, and for engineering, Cho Jae-young got into our Void Ranger lander, and they made it off the planet, running away from this irrigator behemoth and a dust storm and a volcano that was about to erupt and destroy everybody. They both made it off alive, but injured. So, we now go to our ship management book, and we go to Leaving the Planet on page 25. So I'm going to try to walk you through this as well. So if you've already gone through a tutorial, hopefully watching this is going to help you play the game as well. I'm not going to read through everything. When you're playing it by yourself, you just read and follow the directions. I'm just going to do it instead of reading to you, okay? Quick break here. I want to show you something that my local game store, Cape Fear Games, made for you. So check this out. All right, so they actually made a tag on their store of Board Games for One. I put the link in the description below. So all you have to do is click that link. You can just go to capefeargamesilm.com, but just click the link. And it is tagged for this Awakened Realms series. So you can see everything that you can get online through their store. And if you use my code BoardGamesForOne when you check out, it's free shipping in the continental United States and 10% off. But you can see, like, you've got the Etherfields core box, you've got the hard to find expansions. I don't even know what Armada Strigoi is, so I'm going to have to look at that. You've got all these expansions. Most important thing, you've got the card sleeves that fit the Awakened Realms games, all of your different options there. You've got ISS Vanguard and the expansions. Lords of Ragnarok, the core box just came out. You've got the stretch goals. You've got some of the Nemesis expansions, or if you like the miniatures, the deluxifying stuff, playmats, things like that, Tainted Grail. I just thought this was super cool for them to put together. You've got the Great Wall, the miniatures version, stretch goals, not to push you to pick any of it up. But if you've been looking for any of that, this is a way to get it at a very good deal, and it supports this channel too. So check it out. First, we're going to clean up the components. Let's go ahead and do that. Cue the music. Actually, instead of cueing the music, you know what? I'm going to show you what I did. So I placed all of my section cards back into the tray. Take all your section cards and all of your dice, put them back in the tray. Take all of your wounded off, or any of your injury die, and your danger die, and your D, what is that, a D10, D something like that. I don't know what it is. It's a D something, probably a 10. And we're going to put all of those in a bag. And the reason is you don't actually clear everything. Some of the things are going to stay. So let's put these dice in the bag. Or if you have a large table and you're continuing playing, just put them to the side. Take all of your cardboard tokens, all of the time tokens, and we're going to put those back into bags as well. Or again, you have a large table, put them to the side. So I take everything, my turn available, my start tokens, my time tokens, and I just put them into one little bag. Mission failed, penalty, and one action left. I didn't use those, so there they go. Don't touch the success tokens on your lander, your Void Ranger over here. Everything that's on your lander is going to stay. So all your discoveries, boom, boom, boom. Because we survived. Of course, if we hadn't survived, then the ship log tells you to do something different. But we survived, so here we go. Everything stays on there. You don't really need the progress marker anymore. You can take all the standees and put them back. All the little tokens, put them back. Then you take all of your discovery tokens and put them back into the discovery. There should be a total of 20 in there. On your character board, you should keep your character card and any injuries. Everything else can be put back. You can take your little miniatures, put them to the side, put them in the box. Planetary scanner, you can go ahead and put that back, as well as your landing card, you can put that back into your card tray, and I do believe it's card tray B, the black box under landing cards. You can take all of your equipment cards, it doesn't matter what equipment cards they were, gather them all together, and you get to place them in card tray B under your armory. I take all of my progress tokens and I put them in a little baggie or just put them to the side. As far as the tokens, you can kind of see how I have it. I have all of the cardboard tokens in here, and then I have my small ones I put in a bag there, success tokens and such, and then I have my little, discovery bag there, and then I put all my plastic, my dice are all over here, and then I have all of my threat cards and my planetary scanner right here. Now, we look at our threat cards, and any that have this X icon get returned to the card tray. So I'm going to put that threat back into the black card tray. The other threat stays out, so keep it on the board. Then I look for any any point of interest cards that have that X on them. So I've got that right here, and that's the only one. So this one gets to go back into the points of interest. It's P001. That goes into card tray A. That's our white card tray here. P001. Then I take all of my event cards, I shuffle them up, I put that back into card tray A, I believe, and discoveries also all get put back together and they go into card tray A as well. Of course, any discoveries that you put on your lander, you keep those, don't put those back. And then you take your injuries and put those also into card tray A under injuries. And finally, we're going to return any mission or any of the any optional missions, or any missions that were completed. You can return those. And same thing with the planetary exploration. So M10 and M34 go back under missions in card tray A. And global condition G04 is also going to go back. Also card tray A. Now I'm going to slide all of this to the side. We are actually not going to come back to this until it comes time to revisiting another planet. But you would leave it out to that point or until we save, and we're going to get there. But for the sake of camera space, I remember where they are. I'm putting it to the side. Same thing with the lander mod. I'm just going to keep that to the side along with the crew boards so we can open up our ship book. We can also put any reference cards back. I put the reference cards with the threat cards in this black tray here. Put them wherever you want. All right, we finished leaving the planet. We are instructed to now dock. We are boarding. Finally, we are returning to the ISS Vanguard. All right, cool. So for docking, we're going to take a look at our Ranger, and we are allowed up to 5 discoveries. I only have 3. If I had 6, I would have to discard one of them. I'd have to discard down to the maximum that can be carried here. But I've only got 3, so we're okay. If we had any mission cards that were failures, I would have to resolve the mission failure. That didn't happen. So we are going down to assembling available crew members. So we've docked. Available crew members are going to come out to help. So let's go to our card tray B under resting crew. Under resting crew, we pull out all crew members that are in there. So this is pretty good. We've got some rank 2s that are well rested and some rank 1s as well that have already gone on missions. Cool. So those are now in our hand. We can use them to assign them to tasks. However, we have to keep at least 1 of each section. Well, in this case, I only have 1 of each section. So I'm not going to be able to assign crew members to do any duties during this shipbook phase, which probably means that I need to use a barracks action. You're going to see that later to get more crew members. All right, but they're in my hand, even though I can't use them. Let's go to debriefing. All right, cool. So in the debriefing, I get to rank up characters if I had a rank up completed card, which I do. I completed it, so now I have to look at these success tokens that came back with my lander. I am just spitting all over the place. I have 3 success tokens. So if I have rank 1 crew members and 3 success tokens, then we get to rank up. Pretty cool. Now, if I was using rank 2 crew members, I would have had to collect 6 success tokens for them to be able to rank up. Fortunately, my 2 crew members Cho Jae-young and Natalia Torres are rank 1, so they get to rank up. So here's what we do. We take out their tray, and we have rank sleeves right here. Pull those out, and you'll see there's rank 1 and then rank 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace, we don't spend these success tokens, we just have to have them. We're going to take Natalia Torres, and we're going to put her into a rank 2. So congratulations, Natalia. You did a great job on this mission. Now let's go to Cho Jae-young. Same thing. Let's go to our rank sleeves right here. And she also gets to be promoted because she's rank 1 and we have 3 success tokens. So it wasn't a total disaster. I was afraid I was a complete failure. And no, we still had some success. There we go. And just put the rank sleeves back into the tray. Okay, so we keep them on their crew boards and we put them to the side. Now, since we did rank up, we remove this from the game. And our remove from the game slot is in card tray B, right in the back. We just drop it in the back. It's not coming back into the game. If no crew members ranked up, then we would put that back into the rank up section of card tray A, the white tray. Now I'm going to pull out my success tokens bag that I filled up from previous missions. These are success tokens that were left over that I didn't spend. I'm going to take them all out. I'm going to add them to the success tokens that I've collected, and I'm going to put them next to my ship book over here. So we have a success pool of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 dice, and this we can just put to the side for a moment. We have 8 dice, and now for this debriefing stage, I'll put this over here. We actually don't need this in the shot right now. Now I can purchase or sell dice. So I can purchase dice by spending an equal number of success tokens as the amount of dice I have for each crew member, or each section, excuse me. So like right here we have, what is this, engineering, and we have, this is kind of the only hard thing is to get them out. You have to hold the cards and flip it over. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Each section has 6 dice. So what that means is I could spend 6 success tokens in order to buy 1 dice for each section. So spend 6 success tokens to buy 1 die for each. Now, if I had available crew members, if I had a crew member of rank 2 or 3, I could place them under resting crew, so I discard them basically, and that would reduce the price by 1 success token. If it's a rank 2, it reduces the cost by 1. Rank 3 reduces the cost by 2. But I don't have any available, so I can't use an instructor. We're just going to have to pay the 6 die, or the 6 tokens. And I'm going to do it. So discard those, and then take my dice out of here. I get to add 1 dice of my choice to each section. Again, I don't find it the easiest to get the dice out of here. Not sure if there's a great solution, maybe a sloped side, I don't know. I'm getting nitpicky here. But I take them all out. There we go. Just don't get them confused with what you already purchased, because I don't know how to go back and figure out what I had. Ugh. All right, so let's start with engineering. I have these 6 right here. I don't think we really, well, yeah, we'll go overhead for this. Okay, so I've got some blues. I like to see what these are. I've got a wrench, reds, okay. I could stand to have a green. So let's get a green, and you know what I don't have? I don't have many of these organism thingies. So there we go, 3, 6, and 7. Boom. All done. Now let's go to our next, let's go to recon. We got a lot of green going on here. Let's see, we've got scouting, we've got wild, we've got strength, and then some basics. So how about we get a blue? I don't have any computers. So recon's going to get a computer. There we go. Boom, boom, and boom. Let's go to, I think purple is security. No, purple is not. Purple is science. All right, here we go. Boom, boom. We got DNA, we've got wild, basic, and basic. So science, we could do another DNA. We could also give them some strength. You know, a little, I mean, it's a little overbalanced maybe. I think science, I kind of want a shield. No, I'll tell you what, science is going to be another DNA or another. I think we want another one of those, but I want a blue dice. I think I want another DNA or another computer. Let's do that. Let's do another computer. There we go. And finally, we have security, I believe. Here we go. There we are. Okay, so security. We've got a shield and a muscle and basics. Now, I kind of feel, I mean, I could do another shield, but they really could stand to have some more of the other colors. So how about we do a wrench? I think a wrench or a scouting. I think scouting is, you know what? I don't have many wrenches, if any. So let's do a wrench. They can do a little extra work. There we go. It's kind of like a deck builder. It's a dice builder. If I wanted to, I could also sell dice. So to do that, I would take one dice out of each section, return it to the tray, and I would get 4 success tokens for doing that. You cannot go any lower than 4 dice. The sections will always have the same number of dice, whether you're buying or selling. Okay, cool. So now we are going to unload our lander. We are going to take out our discoveries that we collected. First, we're going to look at our unique discoveries. And if there are any of these that say when unloaded, then we would apply the effect. I don't have any of that. So, unique discoveries, I have 2. This is unique discovery 4, so I'm going to put it under unique discovery 4. I've got unique discovery 6. I'm going to put it under unique discovery 6. Cool thing, when you complete a row, you get a bridge upgrade. So I completed row 1, which means I get an impressive display of Vanguard's discoveries. Helps keep the spirits high. Move card B11, Hall of Trophies, from bridge upgrades to the awaiting envelope. Let's do that. Lo and behold, the awaiting envelope. We put our bridge upgrade in there. Boom. And then just put that to the side. Any remaining discoveries we place under Gathered Discoveries in card tray B. Gathered Discoveries, put it right back there. You might get to use it later for some upgrades. Take your lander and go ahead and put it back in the box. Alright, then I'm going to take the lander mod that I had, and I'm going to put it back under lander mods. Scratch that. I take my lander mod and I put it back in the awaiting envelope. Alright, let's go check in on the med bay. Okay, first thing in the med bay is I can assign a therapist to help out, but again, I have to have one crew member from each section available in my hand. So if I had another one, if I had a 5th one, I could use that, but I can't assign anybody. But if I did, I could use them to help. I could put them into my resting crew members, discard them in order to help the current sick members or injured members heal a little faster. I would move them one space to the right, but we'll get to that. Okay, first I'm going to open awaiting and see if I have any med bay upgrades. I've got bridge upgrades, research projects, and production management, but no med bay cards to pull out. I would like to get some of those, so we're just going to put those back in there, put it to the side. Now I'm going to recover my crew members in the med bay. So they all move one space to the right, so critical injuries. Andrew McVeigh is now healing up. He's down to moderate injuries. Saint Japon Belik was with some moderate injuries. He now has just light injuries all the way over here. If a crew member moves out of light injuries, they go directly into your hand. All right, now I move any injured crew members to the med bay. So Cho Jae-young has 2 injuries. It doesn't matter what they are. So she has 2 injuries, which means that it is a moderate injury. And we've got a little key here. 2 injuries is a moderate injury. So I put them in any available space. So fortunately, there is a moderate injury space. Now we're going to see what happens if you don't have an available space. So Natalia Torres also has 2 injuries. Now we do have space on the other side, but let's say we didn't. There was no moderate injuries. I would have to place her in the next most severe, which would be critical. If critical was all taken up, then this crew member would die. I would remove the card from the sleeve, put the sleeve back in the tray, put this Natalia, she would go back on her character board, and we will deal with it shortly. But that's not what happens. There are some moderate injury slots, so I'm going to use them. There we go. All right, so med bay, we got 4 crew members in there. We need to start healing up. If I was able to assign a therapist, which I'm not, then I could discard that crew member, put him in my resting crew in card tray B, and move any one of my characters 1 space to the right. But I can't do that. Take your injury cards and put them back under the injuries section of card tray A right here. So we put these back in our injuries. And now, since there's no crew members left here, I get to go ahead and put these back in the box as well, or put them to the side. I don't have any critically injured patients that I place, so I don't have to do this, but if I did, I would have to roll 3 injury dice. Look at the symbols. If I ended up with one of these, and then either one of these, or 2 of those, then that crew member would die. Fortunately, we're not in that situation. You can use medbay upgrades to mitigate the dice. All right, let's go to the memorial wall. We won't need to use it because we don't have any dead crew members. If I had any dead crew members, I would remove them from the crew board, place them in their appropriate section in the leftmost space, and then I would take whatever bonus is given here. If there are no spaces left, you simply remove them from the game. It's very sad. Put all your crew boards back. Now we're going to save the game. Don't worry, there's more to do, but we're going to see how to save. You're looking at 2 to 4 more hours of play if you keep going, so it's usually good to save when you get to this point. All right, we take out our little notebook here, planet name. It comes from card tray B under recorded planets. Take it out, and we're just going to record some information. So first of all, what do we got? We've got Brimstone. That's right, we're going back to school here. Brimstone. Remaining unique discoveries, none. We got them all. That's pretty cool. Threat sector. Oh, that's the only thing is I needed to remember what sector he was in, which I remember. That was Sector 1. Threat Sector 1, and that was the Irrigator Behemoth. Boom. Irrigator Behemoth. And that's the only one. I'm not going to put any notes. I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to record our point of interest. So, nothing. Let's start with log 1. So, Sector 1, and that's sulfuric deposits. So just write that in. And I'm going to speed up and just skip to after I've recorded all this. That's it. So take this and place it in the recorded planets section of card tray B. Doesn't really matter where, just put it in there. I keep the notebook in there as well. There you go. Now I can take all of these and I can put my point of interests as well as any other cards. The Irrigator Behemoth, I can put him back with my threats. And then I can put these back in the point of interest where they belong, in card tray A. I can take my planet book, my Planetopedia, and I can put it back in the box, put it to the side for later. If there were unique discoveries left, I'd put them back in the tray because we recorded all that. Then I take what's left. I take the crew members that are in hand. I take my planetary scanner, any tokens that are out at all, everything that's left, and I put it in the awaiting envelope. I'm not going to do that because we're about to reload so you can see that and go through the ship management up to where we would unload or where we would launch to a new planet, and we'll stop there. Then we've gone full circle through the whole process. But you do that, you save, you put everything in the box, you're good to go. All right, so we're ready to resume our saved game now that we know how to save. So what are we going to do? We're going to take what we can out of the awaiting envelope, put our success tokens over there, planetary scanner off to the side somewhere, available crew members into our hand. That's it. So let's go to the bridge. If we had something like penalty tokens, any of the tokens come out, right? I mean, you can have everything come out. The only thing that I keep in there just to save on clutter are like my lander mods, my bridge upgrades, production, all of these cards I leave in here, but it doesn't matter. Put them to the side somewhere. All right, now we get to go to the bridge. And we can notice a couple things over here. We can see I have a current objective, and I have a tech level. My tech level is 1. That's not great. And I have morale. Fortunately, my morale is high. High morale means I get +1 command token. We're going to see what those do in a minute. But your morale can lower with negative consequences. My current objective is to explore some planets. I've done part of it. One of those was to explore Brimstone. So there's two more. There's Matchstick and Everstorm, or Atriopos. So that's kind of guiding how I go. Of course, I can explore on my own, but if I want to follow the mission, this gives me some guidance. All right, first things first, let's take out any bridge upgrades, which I do have at least one bridge upgrade. I've got a bridge upgrade and a bridge upgrade, and that's it. The rest are production, research, and then, of course, the lander mod. Put this to the side. All right, bridge upgrades. I get to place them in these slots here. Here we go. Boom. And boom. It doesn't really matter. I just go from left to right. It does say there are certain ones, bridge upgrade travel. There we go. So this is just generic bridge upgrade spots. So let me fix this. Bridge upgrade, boom. Bridge upgrade travel is over here. There we go. Now, if all of these are full, then you would simply discard whatever the lowest one is and replace it with the new bridge card. The one that you discarded would just go back into bridge upgrades. Also, if there's a tech level referenced and it's lower than your current tech level, then you just put it back in the bridge. Then you remove it from the game, actually. So let's see what I got. Hall of Trophies. We may be able to use this later. Whenever you have 3 or fewer success tokens at the start of the bridge step, add 1 success token to your success pool. Cool, that's going to apply. Treasures discovered during perilous voyages remind those who doubt the true value of their mission. Cool. And then for travel, advanced Starmap. Reduce the cost of travel to any outbound system by 1 energy to a minimum of 1 energy. Pretty cool. Utilizing calculations performed by the builders, it will make our travels between the systems more efficient. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to generate my command and energy pools by looking at my tech levels and my morale there. So my tech level is 1, so I get 3 energy. That's this little lightning token, and I put it right here, 1, 2, 3. For command, I look at my objective, I get 2 command. Since I have high morale, I get an extra, so I get 1, 2, 3. Lower morale would give me less or cost me some. If I had a penalty token, if I had earned that at any point, then I would discard the penalty token and all command tokens down to just 1. Now, if I had any situation cards in the awaiting envelope, I would take them out and place them on top here. I don't have any, so what I'm going to do is I have to draw a certain number. My objective tells me 1 situation card. All right, let's see what situation. And you go into card tray B, and you pull it from possible situations, not future situations. Possible situations, and I just grab it from the front. Boom. And I place it up top. Claustrophobia. Madness creeps into people's minds when they are confined to the narrow corridors of the spaceship for too long. The effect would be to lower morale and shuffle this card into possible situations. Oh boy, when solved, I get to shuffle this card into possible situations. So it looks like I can do some kind of dice check here as well, but we don't resolve it yet. It's just up here. It might happen. There's a way that I can actually resolve it so we don't have to deal with it in the future. All right, if your planetary scanner still has the lander card in it, just return that to card tray B, I believe. Yes, card tray B under landing cards, and put the scanner to the side. Now we get to go to the star map. All right, so now we're going to pick our next destination. We're going to take out the system maps book, and there's a bookmark, the current system that we would have from our previous player. If this is your first play, then it would be in the Eye of the Void there. But we were on Brimstone right here, this current system. So I have a choice. I can stay in this system and visit a new location. So I visited Brimstone. It doesn't look like for my objective, is there anything else here to see? Matchstick, Everstorm, or Atropos. I don't see any of those here. So I don't want to go to another location in this system. If I did, I would just pay the energy cost listed. So 0, 0, 3 energy, 2 energy. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to have to go to a new system in order to go to one of these objective planets. So let's see. If I want to go to Matchstick, I can see that's NU4 SETI has matchstick. So I want to go to NU4 SETI, which I can't do. There's no outbound system here going there. How about TOI2? No, that doesn't have what I need. Well, yeah, I could go to TOI2, which would then go to NU4 SETI. Wow. Where else can I go? I can go to Iota Pegasi. That would cost 3 energy, man. Wow. Iota Pegasi would be this one, and that has Arietis, so I can go there. Where else could I go? Requires bridge upgrade BO1. Do I have that? I have BO7. No. So sometimes there's a requirement, and yeah, so I can't go to either of those. I can spend 3 energy and go to Iota Pegasi, or I can go to TOI2, and then I can go to... Do I need to go to Pellucid? I don't. Wow. Well, I'm not going to be able to go to Iota Pegasi because if I go there, I won't have enough energy to land on a planet, and I will end up being adrift, which adrift is just a bad thing that happens where morale gets lowered, I get a penalty token, and I have to go back to a save point. So no fun there. So I'm just going to have to, I'm kind of at a dead end, so I'm going to have to go back to TOI2. Let's go back there, and that's going to cost me how much energy? 1, and of course I have the discount, the advanced Starmap, but no matter what I can only discount down to 1 energy. So let's spend 1, I still have 2. Now, what am I going to do? I can land at a location, or I believe, the book doesn't say anything about it, I believe I can go to another system as long as I have the energy. So I'm going to go to NU4 SETI because then I can land on Matchstick. So I'm going to spend 1 energy to go to NU4 SETI, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, and then I'm going to land on prepare to land on Matchstick. So now I'm going to get a landing card. I don't believe there's any log for me to read there. There wasn't. Nope. So we're good. So Matchstick. A large green planet, brimming with life but troubled by flash fires. 0 energy cost for landing. Cool. Return any landing card currently in the planetary scanner to landing cards. Place landing card L2 in your planetary scanner and go to the next star map. So I will do that. Let's go to landing cards over here, and I'm going to find L2. Let's see, what is that? That's recruits. Landing cards, here we go. L2 is right here, and I'm going to place it in the planetary scanner without looking at the other side, just like that. Now that the bookmark's there, I can close this and put it to the side. We won't need it again until we come back to the ship phase later on. All right, now let's go to ship facilities. This is where we get to use our command tokens to get more crew, upgrade the ship, do all kinds of fun stuff. I definitely need to go to the barracks because this is how I get more crew members. I need more crew cycling, especially with the med bay having 4 crew members in it. So, in order to use the barracks, I have to spend 1 command token, so just discard it and go to the place I want. Barracks is going to be page 16. All right, so this is where I get to work with my crew. So I can transfer or dismiss crew members. What that means is if I want one of these crew members to transfer to a different section, I can do that. So let's say I've got Riku Hashimura, and he is currently in, I believe that is security. Let's say I want to transfer him to become a science officer. Well, what I would do is I would take him out of the sleeve, just like this. Since he is rank 2, when I transfer, he would go into a rank 1 science sleeve. Okay, so he goes down 1 rank. If it was rank 3, he would go into a rank. There has to be available sleeves in the crew's department compartment thing. There has to be enough sleeves. If there's not a sleeve, then they can't transfer. You don't have to transfer. It's just an option you can do if you want to. You can also transfer with resting crew members, and your resting crew members are in card tray B. So I've got none resting in there right now. But if I did, we would do it. You can also train recruits if you have a rank 3 crew member. I don't. I have up to rank 2 at this point. But if I had a rank 3 that was available and free, then I would place him in resting crew, and I could choose any crew member to take them up one rank. That crew member would also go into resting crew. And that's only from rank 1 to rank 2. You can't promote a rank 2 to a rank 3. And they have to be in the same section. So if it's a rank 3 science officer, then they have to promote a rank 1 science officer. We're not doing any of that. But what we are going to do is draft new crew members. So let's go into card tray B, and we're going to draw 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5 crew members. Now I have high morale, so I actually get to draw an extra, a 6th one right here. Boom. And I get to pick one to keep to add to each section. So I get a science officer, a security officer, a, what do we call that, recon officer, and another one, engineering, I believe. So I'm not going to read through each of these. You can read through each one. You'll see that they have their special conversion ability at the top. So if you ever roll a blue success, just a basic success, then you can count it as a wrench if you'd like. You get one of their traits. He's energetic. You get his special ability that you use a charge, which I did not use at all in the playthrough. I really let you down there. You can also see he gets 3 charges, and then you get his backstory on the back here. I won't read through all of it. I'm just going to pick one for each section and put them in a rank 1 sleeve. The 2 that you don't use, just return them to the available recruits. I just put them, I mean, you can shuffle them up if you want. I actually just put them at the back. Doesn't really matter. Boom. I do have rank 1 sleeves, so I got Lee Tang. She is my new security. I got, she has the shield conversion. Raven Tyson is my recon. She has the scouting conversion. Camellia Trentino is my science. Yeah, that's the science, and she has the DNA atom conversion. And then Vadaz Kaploni, he is my engineering, and he has the wrench conversion. And they all go into my hand. So I now have 8 crew members in my hand. So now I can actually use crew to help me in the ship, even though I'm almost done with it. But hey, in the future, it's going to do me some good. All right, now I get to choose my next facility. We have 2 in the command pool left, so we go back to page 6 to go to our next section. And I think that we are going to do the research laboratory and the situation room. Let's go to the situation room first, and we're going to go to page 17 for that, because I like keeping morale high, and removing these situations before they happen really helps. So when I do that, I get to ignore the effect, and I go to when solved. So when solved, shuffle this card into possible situations, okay? So one of those is free. If I had another situation, then I would have to use one of my crew members with a matching icon, so the conversion would have to match one of these. I would discard them, place them in resting crew members, and then I could apply the when solved. I could do that as many times as I wanted with as many situations as I had, as long as I had the crew members for it. But one of these is free, so this goes back into possible situations in card tray A. Now we go back to page 6. And for my final, let's go to the research laboratory. I'm going to use my final token there, and let's go to page 8 for the research laboratory. First thing we're going to do is take research cards out of our awaiting envelope. I'll take it. Actually, I made a mistake. I meant to do production. I thought I had 3 research and 1. I've got 3 production. So we're going to switch this up. Same thing, command token. I'm just going to go to production instead, which is number 12. So nothing really changes there. There we go. So I take out all of my production projects. Boom. All right, first thing I do is I look at these production projects, exactly what it says, and I put it under ready for production, any available slot. We've got 9 of them. If there aren't any slots available, then you return them to the awaiting envelope. All right, now if I had production upgrades, I would take those out as well, and I would place them over here in production upgrades. I don't, so now I go to the production upgrade. Turn over here, I move all of my production projects 1 space to the right. Boom. So that's on stage 3. Once they move off, then you get to flip it over. So this is production Q1, and I've actually made a mistake. See here where it says production Q2 requires an upgrade. I didn't realize that when I started, so I shouldn't actually be using that queue. So I'm just going to put it up here. There we go. Doesn't change anything, but it's hard to notice that at first. There is a note that says you can't use it at the beginning of the game. I thought it meant tutorial, but if you don't look over here and see requires upgrade, then just be careful with that. So now I get to flip it over. Production project, cool. Improved Vanguard systems. Replicating the technology the builders used in their Dyson sphere allowed us to vastly improve the output of Vanguard solar panels. We also upgraded our production capabilities and made countless small improvements throughout the ship. Move the following cards to the awaiting envelope. B09 improved solar panels from bridge upgrades. A08 emergency broadcast system from lander mods. F04 dual production lines from facility upgrades. Tech level 2 card from bridge cards. Finally, we're getting a tech level up. Cool. Let me get all those cards out. Okay, bridge upgrade B09. Boom. It's right behind bridge cards in card tray B. Lander mods from card tray B. We're going for A08. Boom. Emergency broadcast system. Pretty cool. And from card tray B, facility upgrades, we are looking for F04. F01. F02. Oh, those are medbay upgrades. 1, 2, 3. Those are production upgrades. I need facility upgrades. I guess it's a production upgrade. Okay, F04. There we go. Threw me off there. All right, and tech level 2 from the bridge cards. Boom, everything is back in there. I have everything I need, and all of those go to the awaiting envelope. And then I remove this from the game. All right, now I get to start new projects, so I get to take my ready for productions and move them to my queue over here, and it has to go to the slot for their starting stage. So I've got 2 starting stage 2 and a starting stage 3. You can take a look at them to see, what you're going to get. It's going to give me equipment and production projects. This one will give me equipment, production project, and this will give me the same thing, production project and equipment. All right, and up here it tells me to boost. I'm going to get a chance to boost in a minute. That means I can use a crew member whose convert ability matches that icon to advance the research project or the production project 1 level further. Now I can only take 2 though, because there's only 2 available slots, because I only have production Q1 and that stage 3 is taken. So if they are, here, I'll show you right here. I'm going to put this in stage 2 because it says starting stage 2. This is starting stage 2, but I can't put it there, so I have to move it 1 back. So starting stage 1. Cool. Now we can go to the boost section. I can boost as many times as I want, as long as I use a crew member with a matching symbol. So let's see, I've got 2 for each section, so I can actually do quite a bit of boosting here if I like, and I would like to do that just to show you what it looks like. I have to boost the Pelican Lander. I don't really have a choice. So let's boost. He's rank 2. I don't want to use him. Let's use a rank 1. All right, so I'm going to use rank 1, and I'm going to put him into resting crew to move this 1 space to the right, and now I get to apply what it is. All right, and I can do this as many times as I want. Compared to Space Ranger, ooh, I got a Pelican Lander. That is awesome. I didn't even catch it. It's got me a lander. The Pelican can deliver more supplies and equipment to the planet. Unfortunately, it is also fragile and less maneuverable. I don't know about that. Move the following card to the awaiting envelope. Pelican Lander and CO7 Lander facilities from production upgrades. All right, so let's get the Pelican Lander card. It's going to be in here with my threats. There we go. There's the Pelican. And production upgrades, which is going to be in card tray B. I need to find C07 production upgrades. Production projects, excuse me. Okay. C07. There we go. Lander facilities. I'll take it. And both of these go into the awaiting envelope. Boom and boom. And this is removed from the game. Now I could do this again. I could advance both of these As many times as I want. I don't believe there's a limit. Yep, I may repeat any number of times. I want at least one of each crew member, and they just go back to resting, so I'm okay with that. So let's do it. Let's spend a DNA. I don't have any DNA, but I do have a wrench, but I can't use him. So actually, we're done. We are locked up. I don't have a choice. Okay, so there we go. Let's go back. We're done with that, so we go back to page 6. I have no more command tokens, so now we go to ship management cleanup. We're almost to the end here. Discard any energy and command tokens remaining in the pools. I don't love that. Ugh. I don't love that at all. I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to use my lander card to spend my energy. So, 0 energy is going to let me reveal whatever's in the... So I don't get to look at the card, I only get to look at... Actually, I did that wrong. This always throws me off. Okay, so for 0, I can slide up to the next level, which means that I'm able to see this information to help me decide what kind of away team I want to build. That one was free. If I spend 1 energy, which I will, then I get to move up 1 more. If I spend 1 more energy, which I don't have, then I could move it up more. So now I have access to this information right here. All right, so I don't have any command or energy tokens to discard. Success tokens, I have 3 of them. I place them back into my success bag to use later on. If there were any situation cards left, I would put them in the awaiting envelope. I got rid of them, so we're going to be good. Now I go to the hangar because we are about to get ready to launch our next mission. So go to page 18. All right, we're in the hangar. First thing we're going to do is take any of the landers out of the awaiting envelope. All I've got in there is the Pelican. It is not damaged, so we're going to flip it to the good side and place it in an available slot. If there are no available slots, I believe you can remove any one of these and then replace it with the one that you want. Space Ranger is always there. It says that. Do not remove. You can never remove it. If for any reason one of these is on the damaged side, then you can pay the repair cost. So in this case, I would have to go to my discoveries, and that would be my discoveries that I've actually found, gathered discoveries in my box B, gathered discoveries, and I could discard a mineral discovery if I had it to repair it and flip it over so that it's usable. All right. Each one, of course, has their own stats, their own strengths and weaknesses. So I'm going to want to pick one of these to use for my mission. Now I'm going to look at my mods, and I'm going to take out any lander mod cards that I have in my awaiting envelope, just one, and I put it in any available slot. So I've got lander mods. They all just say lander mods, so any available slot is fine. And same thing, if there are no available slots, you can always discard one in order to put a new one in there. But when you remove the mod, you remove it from the game. Now I want to choose my lander. So to make a wise decision, I flip over my planetary scanner and I go with the information that I have uncovered to see which one's going to match best. So for match stick, briefing we don't want to read it yet. For landing, turbulence and thick smoke. So agility and then this the sensors are advised. All right, agility and sensors are higher on the Space Ranger than on the Pelican. Frequent checks, this is going to help me with selecting my crew, are going to be for DNA, and we've got some biomes that we might see as well. I'm not sure what knowing about those does really, other than maybe it tells me what kind of discoveries. I'm not too sure yet why knowing that ahead of time will help. Hopefully that will make sense as I continue playing the game. All right, well, the Pelican allows me to carry more supplies, so it's going to help me on the planet. It also lets me have 2 utility mods, so, but it only has 0 agility and 1 sensor, so I might be in trouble just landing. Let's see. But you know what? I've got 2 mods that'll help with that, so we're going to do it. We're going to use the Pelican. So what I'll do is I will take out my Pelican. There we go. My Pelican lander. And let's go ahead and mod it up. So any of the mods here are available. I would like to use, let's see, I get 1 structural and 2 utility. Trouble is, all of mine are structural. I didn't think of that. I don't need plating. What I need more than anything is agility, because I have 0. So I'm going to do that as a structural mod. Okay, we're ready. Next step, we're going to mission launch. For mission launch, if we hadn't saved the game, then the Planetopedia would still be out with all of the information, and this is the point where we would record all of the information from our last adventure, from our last mission. But we've already done that, so we're going to skip steps 1 and 2, and we're going to start with step 3, which is forming our away team. And this actually brings us full circle. If you want to see the mission launch procedure, that is actually where we started. So that's the very, very first video in this series. If I can remember it, I will put the, linky thing, tag thing right up there for you. But if not, I'm going to also try to put this on a playlist on the channel just for ISS Vanguard or playthroughs. You're going to see it. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to the end of our playthrough and into my final thoughts on ISS Vanguard as a solo game. Alright, my final thoughts, ISS Vanguard. Let's start with the onboarding process, or the tutorial. Alright, so Awaken Realms Games has this thing with their rule books where they want to make it as easy and approachable as possible, because they do rather heavy games. Some people call it bloated, overly bloated, and that's fine. That's a different opinion. I don't consider it that. I consider it a fully well-rounded, enriching experience. I like all of the bloat. To me, it's actually necessary to create the atmosphere that they're doing. That's my thought on it. But they want to make the learning experience as easy as possible. So they create tutorials in a way where they say things like, don't worry about this, you're going to come to it later, just deal with things as they come. That works if you make a very good tutorial like Jaws of the Lion type, where it really guides you through a step at a time. They attempt that and they almost get it in ISS Vanguard. I have to say this is closer than I saw in either fields where they tried to do that, and it just didn't really work for me. Here's what I didn't like about the tutorial though. So they've got a video. They tell you, scan this and go to the video. The channel that did it did a fantastic job. It's like learn ISS Vanguard in 31 minutes. That's great. Here's my issue with that, and you don't have to use the video, you can just use the book. Here's the thing, if I want to learn from a video, I want to learn from beginning to end with the video. What you have to do, you go to the video, and the first thing is, make sure you follow the setup instructions in the book. Well, with a game like this, setup is rather involved, so by the time I went back to the book, I did my setup, but there's so much involved that I'm like, well, I'm used to reading the rule book now, I'm just going to continue reading through the tutorial. So I never used the video. Good thing about the video is you can just watch it instead of playing the tutorial if you prefer that. I didn't try that out. Again, I just stuck with the book, and the book did a great job of walking through the tutorial, but that kind of irritated me. Like if you're going to do a video, then have the learn it in 31 minutes. And again, the channel, he did wonderful. I'm talking more Awaken Realms part of it, but do the setup on video because it's actually very involved. Even if you just tell people, unbox everything, lay in their different parts, and show us the tray. Here, this goes in here. Here, this goes in here. Here, this goes there. Show us. If we're going to do the video, do it all the way. Don't do this back and forth in there. It's too much. There's no point. It just makes it confusing and convoluted. All right. So tutorial was fine, but there's still, I can't recall the specific spots, but there's little blips here and there where I'm like, did I miss something? Should I already know about this? And it happens in the app as well, where the app says that you're going to draw a line from A to B to do this thing. And I'm like, oh no, it says draw a line from A to B. And I'm like, well, where's draw a line from A to B? So I'm searching all around the box. And then I see, well, that's the paper logbook instead of using the app. So I started doing it in the paper logbook. And it turns out if you just click proceed, then the next step you draw. But it doesn't tell you that in the app, right? Little things like that, where if I knew that ahead of time, it just takes away those moments of confusion, because you can do a guided tutorial just like you want. You're very close. but it's not there, and that was a little bit annoying, and I know you get a lot of heat for that, but please keep refining it, and just you gotta take our hand with a game like this and walk us through every single tiny little step, and be cautious, please, when you get to these moments where you say, don't worry about this part yet. Just play the game, and when you come to it, go to that part in the instruction manual. That's fine, but you want to hit that needs to be for fringe occurrences, not for core mechanics. Even things like threat and things like that, that all needs to be introduced in the tutorial, in my opinion. You don't want to be learning that on your own later, even though you give a signal to go and read about that. I don't like that back and forth. It's all got to be in one place. All right. So that's it on the tutorial. Still totally learnable, and I enjoyed it. I learned everything from just the rule book. Now, since I brought up the app is great. I'm all for it. I didn't have to. I could have just used the paper log book, but I really enjoy the voice acting is nice. The background music is nice. I usually do mute it because I get tired of hearing it for a while, but I love the voice acting. It was a little hard since there's nothing that tells you like how to enter the log number. So at first I was kind of like, what do? You open the app, and okay, I guess I click here, and then, oh, I guess I type in the log number. Again, things that may seem completely intuitive to somebody, but for an experience of someone coming in knowing nothing, if you want to make it easy on them, you've got to hold our hand through every single step. You have to say, in order to go to the log, type in the log number and press enter. You have to walk us through everything. We can't have a little bit of walking us through and then a little bit of, oh, you'll figure it out on your own. That mix is not working. Please go all the way. You're so close. And I love your tutorials. I love it. I just want it to be better. App. Yeah, so I'm all for the app. I use it. No problem. I hope you enjoyed seeing it as well in the walkthrough. Components, I'm not even going to bother talking about. Awakened Realms components are always good. You've got the recess boards, the beautiful minis. The artwork is lovely. Cards are all good stock. As far as packing it away, it's a nice tray system. It's actually I would call it a quick setup for the game that this is. I don't know if it's as quick as Unsettled, but it's pretty close to that. It's pretty close to that. So enjoyed that. So let's wrap it up with gameplay. All right, dice mechanics. You gotta enjoy dice, right? So if you play either fields, that's more on the deck builder side that uses dice. This is a dice builder that also uses cards. So I get a little frustrated with dice games, but they actually do it well. I don't have any critique of it. I think I just need to maybe mature and get used to dice in games. I don't think I've played enough of them. I know Hostage Negotiator, Final Girl, all that, and I figured out how to mitigate dice in that. So I need to figure it out for this game. I started to enjoy it about halfway, past the halfway point of the mission we did together in this playthrough. The first half I was getting really irritated, mostly at myself, okay, so not at the game. But just know that it is a dice builder, and I don't know that I've ever played a dice builder before. Maybe I have. Put in the comments if you know other games that do that. I enjoy that. All right. The deck building, I didn't really dive. I wouldn't call it deck building. Well, it's deck selection, right? So depending on your rank, you get to pick how many cards you want in your hand. I enjoyed that. The threats. Okay, so what I really enjoyed was the pacing. Once you land on the planet, you're going on an adventure. The part where I got excited was toward the end, where it felt almost like a thriller movie, where we were at the end and we've got this windstorm coming, causing trouble, and it was really frustrating me, but tension. And then this huge monster, Gargantuosaurus thingy, whatever it was called, Amalgamasaurus, I don't know, pops up. He's obviously not beatable, but I don't know that yet, so stress. And then there's a volcano that's about to explode, and if I don't get off the planet in time, we're all going to die. I loved it. I loved it. One, because it gave me relief that, oh, I don't have to beat this monster. I just got to run for my life. I can do that. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and it makes me want to explore some of the other planets because of that. As far as the mechanic, the exploration of moving around on the board, I don't have any critique there. You saw it all in the playthrough. The critique I was thinking of with the shipbook phase. So in the shipbook phase, solo is great. because I have all the time in the world to read through it, and I imagine eventually you get to memorizing the steps in each phase to where you don't read everything. I've only gone through the ship book 3 times, including the time in our live playthrough together. So, maybe solo you get faster at it. I don't really mind at this point. I don't know if they could have like an abbreviated menu. That might just clutter things up. So, no real critique there. What I'm worried about though is for cooperative play, because in my opinion, ISS Vanguard is a cooperative game first that you can play solo. You can play solo with 2 hands. I appreciate that you don't have to play with all 4, but that you can. I like that option. The reason I think it's a cooperative game first, and why this worries me about the ship log, is there's a certain joy that comes from commanding a specific section and having a specialty and working with each other cooperatively to make your different section strengths work together and make up for the weaknesses. So I would enjoy this cooperative. That's actually probably the way I would want to play this most. And that doesn't say anything negative on the solo. You saw the playthrough solo. Totally fine playing it 2-handed. I have no critique on that. I just think it's a cooperative game first. So when it comes to the ship book, there are elements in the ship book that are cooperative, where it says that for this section, if the players can't agree, the recon player makes the decision. And then, of course, each player does select the dice for their own section when they're purchasing dice, and selects the crew member that they want when you're selecting crew members. So there is something for everyone to do, but with all of the rules that you have to read, and I have no issue with the rules, but I'm just wondering cooperatively, that part feels almost like it goes to where there's a game master that's going to manage the ship book, and everyone else can, grab tea or chips or whatever it is, whiskey, coffee, whatever you want, and then they can, come back when they have something to do. But I don't see everyone sitting there through the ship book, and the ship book phase is actually quite involved and lengthy. So cooperatively, I get it on the planet. I don't get it on the ship, but it feels like the ship book is solo, the planet is co-op. I don't know if there's a better way to do that. I don't think it ruins the game. But if you want to critique, there you go. Look, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for sticking with me through ISS Vanguard. I have enjoyed it, and I would like to continue playing to see more of the story. I'm looking forward to our next step along our road to, I always want to say redemption, and it sure ain't. What is it? Retribution. Road to Retribution. Walking toward Nemesis Retribution. The Kickstarter launch there. And I'm not doing this actually to pump it up. I saw something once where there was something called The Road to Village. And it was for Resident Evil, which isn't my kind of game or whatever, but I thought that was a neat idea, where they were building up to this moment. So I'm not trying to hype the Kickstarter. Like I've said, I'm probably not backing it myself. I'll probably wait for retail. But it's a fun idea. And the next game is going to be This War of Mine. So we're going to shift the pace up a little. That's going to be a little more of a serious and probably a review, not a playthrough. I haven't decided yet. I love you all. I'll see you next time.